Reddit users aged 50 plus, what's something you genuinely believe young people haven't realized yet, but could enrich their lives or positively impact their outlook on life? Life will never be perfect. We also had faith it would be this great ride one day. People stop loving you. People die that you can't live without. You won't achieve goals you thought were solid because someone else screwed you over or you just didn't know what to plan for. Employers just decide you're not a good fit with little notice. Kids don't keep looking at you like you're wonderful, in fact, quite the opposite. Dogs die too soon. Everything costs so much more than it should and the person across the counter doesn't care if you don't have money, because they're caught in the same cycle. People can be downright cruel, and the more we collectively suffer, the more cruel some people become. The thing is, you have to love to lose it. You have to work to get laid off. You have to buy to be stressed about cost. You will be unconditionally loved by the dog before they leave your life. We allow ourselves the future pain because of the highs they come with. The downhill just wears on you. Hang on to the bright days. You'll need to remember them to get through the rest. Stop thinking your life is about being the most productive person you can be. Find interesting hobbies that make you feel good and are good for you. Your soul deserves to experience some of your own dreams. Don't waste all of your time working towards the dreams of your company's owners. Every skill takes determined practice to master. I see my young friends or relatives try and give up on so many things because they weren't very good at it. If you keep doing that, you'll never be very good at anything. Every day it gets a little easier. But you gotta do it every day, that's the hard part. But it does get easier. Jogging Baboon from BoJack Horseman. This struck a chord with me recently. 2 things I will be eternally grateful to my grandfather for instilling in me. Failure is not an end state unless it is where you choose to stop. He loved to quote that line by Churchill whenever something didn't work out for me: success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. Honesty is the most powerful tool you can use to define yourself. Admit your mistake, frankly and honestly. The truth always comes out in the end, no matter how big or small, and it doesn't get better with age. You can give back something you steal, you can help those you hurt, but once they brand you a liar, it's all you will ever be. Anecdotal, but honesty saved my career twice when I fucked up. I was working for a startup a long time ago and thought I had followed a procedure correctly, only to have it bring our production site offline. Right as it went down, I realized I f***ed up and missed a critical step. Went straight to the CTO, admitted it, fixed it, and then went before the CEO to explain. The CEO and CTO said they were gonna fire me but didn't want to because they valued my honesty and integrity. They said that had I not been so forthright that they would have tossed me out then and there. Be as honest as possible. It pays in the end. Take a genuine interest in what other people have to say. Ask them follow-up questions about their passions in life. Don't just talk about yourself or wait for your turn to talk. That's how you have a conversation and build a relationship. Putting things off to do when you're older very likely means you'll end up not doing it. You young people have no idea how quickly your strength and stamina deserts you as you age. In my 30s and 40s, I used to happily do multiple-day hiking trips of 10-hour-a-day hikes up and over mountains. Now in my 50s, the last serious hike I did, which was only 6 hours, I could barely move the next day. My leg muscles were jelly. One of my best holidays was a month-long hike around Switzerland, done 15 years ago. As much as I would love to do that again, I have to face the fact I likely don't have it in me anymore. But at least I did get to do it. Had I put it off to when I retire, I would never have done it. Also, you may well never get the opportunity to do them. About 10 years ago, when I first moved to Perth, WA, a coworker's friend was due to retire. Friend and his wife had never been overseas. As his retirement drew close, he and wifey started planning a big post-retirement, 12-month European trip as their first ever overseas adventure. Week after he retired, he dropped dead from a heart attack. Debt can really ruin your life. If you want to take on a lot of it, Make sure you have a good plan and run it by a lot of smart people first. I was very debt averse, which limited some opportunities for me, so I wish I had learned earlier that debt isn't inherently bad, it just depends on the general value of what you're getting for it. Everything in moderation, including moderation. You save your money so you can live your life. Sometimes that means doing things you don't enjoy doing, going to work, cleaning the house, doing laundry, so that later, you can enjoy the benefits of that restraint, having money to buy yourself treats, having a clean house, enjoying the feeling of clean clothes. My dad always said pay now, play later, or play now, pay later. Focusing on school, skills, and experience when you are young makes life better for you when you're older. When you're 25, you look back at your 15-year-old self and think, man, I sure was foolish back then. And you assume you've stopped being foolish now that you have reached your final, mature form. Nope. When you're 35, you will look back at your 25-year-old self and think the same thing. Same at 45 and 55. Embrace this with humility, accept that some of your beliefs about yourself and about the world are probably wrong, and treat it as an opportunity to keep learning and growing. Compound interest is your friend. I wish I knew this at 20. If there was abuse in your childhood of any kind and no one helped, get help now. If you can't afford therapy, use online resource. They're not the best, but still helpful. Don't have your own children until you're sure you won't repeat the cycle. Inheritance is not a retirement plan. I'm growing up in Asian communities and seeing many adults in my grandparents' countries living their family life, this 100x. You know how people say kids are expensive? But kids grow up and most of the time they turn out fine and grow past their angst, and they leave and start their own life anyway, maybe, but older people who don't have a good financial sense and still think that they know the best, so they habitually annoy the heck out of the people around them, when it comes to things like healthy living and life decisions and shit. They stay with you longer than kids and only get more and more emotionally and financially costly to tend to. Thankfully my parents aren't exactly like this, but seeing their relationship with my grandparents left me with a lot of scare. Don't get me wrong, I love my grandpa and ma, but man, they can be a handful when they choose to be, getting into MLM, loaning out money they can't afford to give out, not listening to modern medical advice and instead chug some alternative medicine that doesn't do shit for their cardiovascular problems, the whole f***ing 9 yards. You don't have to have a family. You don't have to get married. You don't have to have kids. Most people only do it because others expect it of them. You might find you're happier on your own. Almost every day someone vents that they are losers because didn't achieve great things at the astonishing age of 2023. I'm 54 and believe that I can do lots of things in the next 20 years, so young people could imagine they got a time travel when they are at 50s, going back to 25. What changes would you do? These kids have 3 to 5 years to decide. I'm 27 and sometimes I get that existential dread of wasting my life. I'm already 27. I should have achieved that years ago. My life will pass me by and I'll be a failure, all that shit. Luckily for me, all my coworkers, except for one, are 10 to 20 years older than me. I always hear from them, I wish I was your age, you have your whole life ahead of you. That makes me realize, yeah, dipshit, what are you thinking, you're still in your 20s. I'm not even halfway through my life, hopefully, I still have plenty of time to achieve what I want. Nobody else ever thinks about the things you did that you think were embarrassing or cringeworthy. You are not important to them. The only one who remembers those moments are you, and you shouldn't let them define you to yourself. If you die, your employer will have your job posted before you are buried. Remember that on when making work or life choices. Not everyone you disagree with is wrong. They are simply operating with different information. You can disagree with someone in an issue, and still value the person. Don't let one issue define your entire relationship to another person. How very short life really is. Learn to let it go. Don't watch too much MSM. Don't hold grudges. Don't get pissed in traffic. Don't feel the need to correct the dipshits. Don't stress about the weather. Don't go to bed angry with your spouse. Just let it go. Friends, thank you for watching. Please share your stories below in the comments and see you on the next videos. Have a good day.